Hi Michael, can you tell me your full name and what you do at SAS?
My name is Michael Thomas. I'm Development Manager for BI Dashboard and Mobile BI.
Great. What are the latest things that you guys are working on relating to the iPhone and the iPad in terms of delivering BI to the mobile products, devices?
Yeah, so we're working on getting dashboards out to iPhone, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. We're showing the iPad as well because iPhone apps work on the iPad.
Great. So from a user's perspective, how would you be able to deliver, say, a SAS dataset or even a stored process to a mobile device? What needs to be set up for that?
You set up a dashboard, and then components of dashboards are indicators, and then the stored process can either fuel the data behind any of the different visualizations that we have in the product, or the stored process can return a visualization directly as a PNG or a GIF or a JPEG file, and then we would see those actually go into the mobile device or to the flash dashboards or whatever you'd like.
That's great. What are the different mobile devices that you're currently supporting? I imagine the iPhone is one of them, but you may have BlackBerries and others.
That's right. So iPhone, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. And Windows Mobile, we're still analyzing, exactly what the best devices are. That area moves really fairly quickly in terms of turnover devices. iPhone, we're looking to support the latest iPhone, and then BlackBerry, we're really focused on the Bold, even though we're going to also offer some support for the Curve.
Yeah, I noticed that on the BlackBerry, the Bold and the Curve, and all the different ones are very different compared to the iPhone, where there's like one.
Yes.
The BlackBerry is almost like a different SDK that you have to develop for.
Yeah.
Is that so? Currently, the Bold and the Curve are the two that you're targeting.
Bold, Curve, and Storm. Actually, we're looking at the Storm as well. And the underlying operating systems, it does progress linearly, but obviously you get to Storm, and then you have a touch screen, and then where the Bolds and the Curves have the keyboard. So there are differences there in terms of getting resolutions to fit.
Yeah.
And we've had to do a lot of work kind of figuring those things out. As you get in these more fragmented spaces, such as Windows Mobile and Android, then all of a sudden you have to deal with the possibility that a new device comes on the market and has a completely different resolution that you've never seen.
That's right.
And first off, you want to make sure that it works, and then secondarily, you want to make sure that that looks good. And then in cases where sort of a strange new case, all of a sudden a touch screen that you weren't expecting, or just a different form factor, then we need to be able to react and then be able to get something that works optimally on that particular platform.
How has the iPad changed things, since the resolution on the other devices are relatively small, but the iPad makes the space much larger for the user to view your data? What have you done to kind of take advantage of that?
Right. So first off, we've taken our iPhone app and we've moved it to the iPad. But the thing with the iPad is it really plays in a different space. So these smartphones are wearable. You see people all the time, they have to touch their phone to make sure that they have it. I've been working in the mobile space for since the late 90s. And even though the technology has moved forward leaps and bounds, the devices are basically the same size, and they're going to stay the same size. So what we see with the iPad is it's really playing more in the netbook space. And it provides unique value in the netbook space. It's doing something that no other netbook is doing. But it's really playing in that kind of space. It's not something you necessarily wear. Very portable, but not something you actually wear. Now, the name is very apt, the pad. What I like about the iPad as a business user, and it's very important for us at SAS to think through what's going to work for our audience, for the business users, rather than just what would be cool for gaming or playing videos or things like that. But when I see it as a business user, I think about the pad of paper that I have, because I go to meetings, I take notes that I can't read later. I basically bring my pad of paper to be polite, okay, make it look like I'm paying attention. I take some notes, and then I go back and I set it aside, and I never look at the notes again. Like once a month, I'll go back and actually look at my notes. What I really need is I need all that to actually integrate in with the computer, right? So now I could actually be taking my notes, doing my interactions, looking things up straight from my pad. We're already seeing executives here at SAS using iPads exactly like that.
That's great.
So now let's think about how you integrate that in. And one of the things is, with our smartphones already, we're looking at collaboration as a key angle. So let's go ahead and collaborate right there in the meeting with the iPad. Let's go ahead and take those, and as you're taking notes, take notes as comments against the data. And that's one of the features that we have with our mobile store in general, is that collaboration around data.
So is that going to be totally taking advantage of the new space and creating a separate add-on for the iPad, or is that going to be incorporated to all the other existing devices as well?
We haven't gone that far yet. So right now we've done the technical work to get our application on the iPad, and we expect that everybody that has an iPhone app, they're going to put it on the iPad because that's what Apple has allowed. And now what we're really focused on is really the two questions: how do we solve this? How do we solve problems with this device for business users, for our audience, and not so much the consumer space? And then secondly, what is unique about this hardware and differentiate? Now we could go through that whole analysis and find that hey, there's nothing differentiating. I don't think that's going to be the case, but in which case we just kind of keep on going. But that's the real trick: is how do we add the value that's unique to this device's capabilities?
That's great. When can we look forward as a user to be able to download from the App Store any of these products?
Right. So our tentative release plans are focused on this year. Are focused on this calendar year.
So within 2010, hopefully. Not a moving target.
Right. Yeah. There's someone else that you asked that question.
Great. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Do you have a card?